Hello students, this is Vaibhavi, your teacher, and today we are going to learn about international economic cooperation and international business consists of transactions that are devised and carried out across national borders to satisfy the objectives of individuals, companies, and organizations. The economic integration started at the end of World War II. Yet was created in 1948 globally, and in Europe, regional integration started in 1951. There are regional economic integration observed in American continent, Asia, and other parts of the world. So, in this session, we are going to learn different regional economic organizations or integrations. So let's learn regional economic integration, that is also called as trade blocks. There are different economic integration schemes, and those are also referred as trade blocks. Regional integration agreements, it is in short called as RIAs. Regional trade agreements, RTAs, is an important international business environment factor. An economic integration scheme is considered as a building block of economic development of the member countries. There has been a significant growth of regional economic integration schemes designed to achieve various economic, social, and political purposes. Most countries in the world are members of one or more trade bloc known as regional integration agreement arrangements, that is RIA. Such agreements have been concluded among high income countries, among low income countries, and more recently starting with the North American free trade area between high income and developing countries. More than half of world trade now occurs within actual or prospective trading blocks. Regional integration schemes tend to increase intra-regional trade. There has in fact been a fast growth of the intra-regional trade. World trade consists broadly of intra-regional and inter-regional trades. So, the objectives of these regional trends are: regional agreements frequently have political objectives and non-economic dimensions, which comprises or include national security, enhancement of bargaining power, and bolstering the credibility of reforms. The objectives are discussed below. To obtain economic benefits from achieving a more efficient production structure by exploiting economics of scale through spreading fixed cost over larger regional markets, increased economic growth from foreign direct investment, learning from experience, etc. Second, to pursue non-economic objectives such as strengthening politicalities and managing migration flows. Third, to ensure increased security of market access for smaller countries by forming regional trading blocs with larger countries. to improve members' bargaining strength in multilateral trade negotiations, or to protest against slow pace of trade negotiations, to promote regional infant industries which cannot be viable without pro- protected regional market. Types of integration. The term economic integration is commonly used to refer to the type of arrangement that removes artificial trade barriers like tariffs and quantitative restrictions between the integrating economies. It is a general term which covers several kinds of arrangements by which two or more countries can agree to draw their economies closer together. All of the arrangements have common feature: the use of tariffs to discriminate against goods produced by countries not party to the agreement. There is a distinction between integration and cooperation, whereas cooperation includes actions aimed at lessening discrimination. The process of economic integration comprises measures that entail the suppression of some forms of discriminations. The main characteristic of economic integration is thus the abolition of discrimination within an area. There are different degrees or levels of economic integration. The important forms of integrations are outlined as: first, free trade area. A free trade area is grouping of countries to bring about free trade between them. The free trade area abolishes all restrictions on trade among the members, but each member is left free to determine its own commercial policy with non-members. Second, custom unions. A customs union is more advanced level of economic integration than the free trade area. It not only eliminates and restrictions on trade among members, but also adopts a uniform commercial policy against the non-members. Common market. The common market is a step ahead of the custom unions. A common market allows free movement of labor and capital within the common market. Besides having the free trade among members and uniform tariff policy towards outsiders. 4. Economic union. A still more advanced level of integration is the economic union. Apart from satisfying the conditions of the common market mentioned, the economic union achieves some degree of harmonization of national economic policy through a common central bank, unified monetary and fiscal policy. For example, the European Union. Fifth, economic integration. The ultimate form is full economic integration characterized by completion of the removal of all the barriers to intra-block movement of goods and factors. Unification of social as well as economic policies and all the members bound by decisions of a supranational authority consisting of executive, judicial and legislative branches. European Union. The European Economic Community, that is EEC, also known as European Common Market, that is ECM. European Community means EC and European Union means EU, is the most successful of the regional economic integration schemes. The EEC, which originally comprised six nations, namely Belgium, France, Federal Republic of Germany, Italy, Luxembourg, and Netherlands, was brought into being on 1st January 1958 by the Treaty of Rome 1957. The Treaty of Rome required every member country to eliminate tariffs, quotas, and other barriers on intra-community trade, devise a common internal tariff on imports from the rest of the world. 3. Allow the free movement of factors of production within the community. Harmonize their taxation and monetary policies and social security policies. Fifth, adopt a common policy on agriculture, transport, and competition in industry with effect from May 1st, 2004. The European Union has 25 members. Many more countries will be joining the Union in due course. Indo-European Union trade. The economic countries taken as a single unit is India's largest partner. India export to EC grew from rupees 280 crore in 1971 to rupees 1447 crore in 1980-81 and rupees 8951 crores in 1990-91. The corresponding figures of India's imports from the EC were rupees 320 crore, rupees 2639 crore and rupees 12,680 crore. In 2003-4, India exports and imports EU were rupees 61,816 crore and rupees 62,248 crore respectively. In 2000-2001, India, however, had a trade surplus with the EU. The EEC accounts for about 1/5 of India's total foreign trade. India runs huge trade deficit with the EU. Within the EC, largest trade partners of India have been West Germany and the United Kingdom. India's main export to EC include textiles, jute, leather and leather manufactures, polished diamonds, engineering goods, chemicals, marine products, and etc. Imports including edible oils, fertilizers, dairy products, steel, capital goods, optical instruments, aluminum ore, synthetic rubber, etc. India also receives technology, investment, and development aid from EC countries. India's export performance is affected by factors such as lack of price competitiveness, poor quality, poor quality image, bad reputation in respect of delivery schedules, poor export marketing skills. The EC is highly competitive market. The EC is a very huge market and India should pay sufficient attention to taking advantage of this market. The euro. The euro common currency of European Union was launched by 11 of the 15 members of the Union on January 1st, 1990. The exchange rates per euro determined at the time of the euro launch were about US dollar 1.70 US dollar, British pound 0.17 in 133 and German mark 1.96. 1 euro was equivalent to about rupees 49. The Maastricht Treaty of 1991, which set the stage of the monetary union, laid down certain criteria for member countries to join the EMU, such as maintaining budget deficit, public debt, inflation, long-term interest rates, and exchange rate within defined limits. Greece could not join the euro launch as she could not satisfy these criteria. Britain, Denmark, Sweden opted out although they satisfied the eligibility criteria. Due to domestic political reasons, the parties to the euro now are Australia, Belgium, Finland, France, Germany, Ireland, Italy, Luxembourg, Netherlands, Portugal, and Spain. Euro currency and coins did not come into circulation until 2002. Although banking and trading transactions in euro had commenced since January 1st, 1999. The national currencies of the 11 euro nations continued in circulation until 2002. The deadline for the withdrawal of national currency and coins was July 1st, 2002. Beyond this date, they will not be legal tender. At the time of the launch of the euro, its conversion ratio against other currencies, internal and external, were also decided. Internal conversion rates are the rates at which participating currencies will be converted into the euro during the transaction period. That is, until the euro will completely replace the national currencies of Euroland, while the external exchange rates are the exchange rates against currencies outside the Euroland. A key distinction is that the internal rates are irrevocably fixed while external values of the euro will be market determined. The monetary policy decisions for the euro area are made by the European Central Bank, which along with the national central banks of all EU members comprise the European system of central banks. The ECB is controlled by a governing council consisting of an executive board and the governors of the NCBs of the Euroland. In designing the EMU, the architects laid great emphasis both on the independence of the ECB and on the simplicity and severity of anti-inflation objective. The Maastricht Treaty directs the ECB to support the general economic policy of the community, but crucially without prejudice to the objective of price stability. The single currency will bring a single interest rate, eliminate currency risk, and give equity and bond markets the necessary scope and liquidity to attract big investors. Europe will rank alongside the US as the deepest and most liquid market in the world. Consumers will benefit in several ways. The single currency will impact price transparency throughout the Euroland. When there were many currencies, price comparisons were not to say. not so easy. Prices now will tend to be equal throughout the euro area. It is generally felt that an important impact of the euro will be the decline in the dominance of US dollar in the global economy because the euro will increasingly replace the dollar in several spheres. Before the launch of the euro, about 60% of the foreign exchange reserves holding by central banks and governments was in US dollars. The corresponding share of the European currencies was about 20%. The share of the euro would rise in future and that of dollar will fall. In short, the dominance of dollar will decline and a bipolar global monetary order will emerge. Implication of euro for India. The euro has important implications for India. The euro land accounts for about one fifth of India's foreign trade. Further, the UAE is an important source of aid and foreign investment. Indian companies have significant investment interest in Europe and they also tap the European capital market. Indian businessmen benefit like their counterparts in other countries from the benefits of single currency instead of many. The euro is expected to reduce the transaction costs and help in greater integration of capital markets, while resulting in a higher level of growth in the Euroland. Large business opportunities are, however, emerging in the different fields. The study opines that the advent of the euro is both a challenge and an opportunity for Indian exporters, and it will now depend on their skills to use it to their advantage. So the students today we learned about different corporations. Thank you and see you in the next session.